We are living in an illusion, and we do not realize that the world dictates everything around us, including the moral standards that we live by. We have dehumanized our intrinsic purpose and destiny until it has been eliminated out of our very existence. We do not even realize that it has been washed away from our conscious and subconscious mind, and that we have succumbed to humanity's God-like dictatorship over us. Of course, many of us think that we follow a moral standard that gives us meaning and salvation. Unfortunately, we have never questioned the in-depth meanings of these teachings and rules and regulations in leading a productive life, and offer our inner beings the peace and hope we so desire in our lives. There are worldviews that stimulate our sense of tranquility and zen and fool us into believing that living a life within these boundaries will ultimately give reason to our creation, purpose, meaning, and destiny. Nevertheless, in reality, these methods only dull our senses to the realities of the world around us, ultimately decaying our inner souls, while we fool ourselves into believing that their claim for calmness and tranquil lives will ultimately provide fulfillment in our existence. We allow ourselves to be fooled into sensational and misleading beliefs that cloud our sense of reality around us. World beliefs that continuously provide avenues into believing that our indiscretions and immoral lifestyles can ultimately allow us penance or forgiveness by their own subjective transcendent moral belief that ultimately fulfills whatever requirement that their man-made moral standards dictate. It can be accomplished and thus gives us our salvation. What that salvation results in seems to have a definite point of reference to a transcendent divine power. However, unfortunately, man translates these transcendent moral standards that must be followed with strict obedience. Therefore, many people accept these teachings without question, without really knowing that it is based on and from what the actual source is. However, again, when we disguise our misdeeds by providing modes of penance, we soothe our weary hearts, thinking that we are in the right track to salvation. Interestingly enough, we have worldviews that are so closely related that it may seem that man had conveniently taken their basic fundamental views from each of their beliefs and concocted their concepts of creation, purpose, meaning, and destiny. If we select the three most closely related worldviews whose influence are worldwide in the modern world, which has dictated worldviews, politics, laws, and every facet of humanity, that it is a wonder that humanity has not ended up destroying everything is a miracle in itself. When we look at one of the major religions, it is quite evident that it is made up of an assembly of beliefs from the other two, added with convenient guidelines that seem to benefit the provider himself. Two are based on a continuing revelation, but unfortunately have caused rifts because on which the two represent humanity's final revelation. While one seems to wait for a savior, the latter celebrates their savior's arrival and departure and awaiting his final return. Which one concurs? However, all three agree on the judgment that shall prevail against all humanity. The only way humanity can come to terms with itself is to take the time and study and understand the evidence that exists and understand the relationship it has with us. Let us put the overzealous philosophers and the broad-minded theological experts' interpretations aside, as well as the proposed scientific declarations by learned individuals. And every one of us look at the evidence that exists by ourselves, not having to adhere to what everyone tells us, but apply our logic and simple deductions based on the evidence to conclude ourselves where the truth lies. If we are seriously determined to seek a moral absolute, then it is within our powers to find it ourselves. Put aside all influences we have concerning other world beliefs that have so far misguided our attempts in finding peace within ourselves. Only when we have the genuine desire to seek the truth will the truth be revealed, and it begins with us. Do not be influenced by what people say, which will then put us at a disadvantage. Do not let outside fears distract our goals. Once we have set ourselves a mindset determined for the truth, then ultimately we will find the truth.